Carlos, it really seems like Benge over the last month or so has made an adjustment with that pitch up in the zone. What have you seen, and what did you see again on those two RBIs tonight?
I mean, it's really good to see it. And you're exactly right. Watching that replay on that, especially that second one, he's able to get on top of that fastball and staying short, not trying to do too much, using the whole field. I said it to Kai right away. I was like, man, that's good to see, because that's a pitch that he struggled early on. And he just continues to get better. He continues to find a way. That wasn't an easy at bat there. And then it's two of them, left on left. It was also pretty impressive. I mean, yeah, you got to give him credit. He's not going to back down. He's going to continue to work. He's going to continue to show up. The one thing that I like about him is you can never really tell whether he's 0 for 8 the past couple of days, or he just coming off a couple of games where he either hit a walk-off or have a game like this. He's going to show up the next day, and he's going to be the same person, and he's going to give you his best. So it's pretty impressive for a player his age.
For Soto, now 8 home runs in his last 12 games. I know you've seen these types of runs out of him, but what is even if it's a slight difference when he gets onto these types of heaters?
He's locked in. He's locked in, and he's one of the best, if not the best, at what he does. It doesn't matter if he's a lefty, righty. We saw it today on a breaking ball against a lefty. But they compete. He's just in the at bat, the takes, the swings. He gets a little scary when he swings and misses there, but he goes away. But man, he's just a special player doing his thing.
Tony.
Just to follow up on that, how much is that physical stuff, to your knowledge, still affecting him? Because with the results, it would seem like not at all.
Yeah, not at all. It's just when he swings and misses. But every time he makes contact, you see him hit him of the machine here before the game, and he's taking a lot of swings. It's just when he swings and misses that he feels it, and he takes his time. We've seen it in the past few days, and then he goes away.
And then what did you see from Williams in the ninth?
He got the job done. Obviously, he got in trouble, but he was able to continue to make pitches and execute, and got the job done there. Obviously, you don't want to walk the bases loaded. He kind of lost it a little bit, but then got back on track, make pitches, use the changeup. I'm glad that he was able to get the job done, and a good team win there.
Alan.
Carlos, just what do you think of that long at bat Benge had in the fifth? I think it was 8 pitches.
Yeah, same thing. He's just his ability to continue to work at bats, grind out at bats, not trying to do too much, some really good takes, some being able to foul off pitches, just staying on the fight and not trying to do too much, especially when he gets behind in counts. And when he's ahead, we've seen some bigger hacks here, but I think he's a player that is getting a better understanding, a better feel of the situation, what the pitcher's trying to do to him, what's the situation calling for, and it's just good to see him continue to have solid at-bats.
What did you make of Tong's outing, and does he stay in the mix for you as far as innings in this rotation?
I thought he was good the first couple of innings. Attacking the strike zone. He doesn't make that play, and he completely changes the outing. It cost him an extra 20 pitches, and I feel like he was getting tired towards the end. But, man, he competed, and he found a way. We're going to need him. We will continue to get creative here, whether it's openers, using him as a bulk guy. We're going to have some off days coming up. So there's a lot of different ways where we could go.
Tim.
We've asked you a lot about the energy that Benge and Ewing bring. Have they been able to sustain that even through their individual slumps and the team having the last week that it had?
100%, and that's what I just said it earlier about Benji. You can really tell whether he's 0-4 or he's coming off a really good game. The guys are going to show up. There's a smile on their faces, but they're on a mission. They're coming into work. They're asking good questions. You see them pregame doing their outfield work, taking BP, going over pitchers. He's just, asking really good questions to our veterans. It's been pretty impressive how steady those guys have been.
Mind you.
To that point, Carlos, AJ in center field, what did you see from him? What have you seen from him, I guess, since he's been up here? Because he had the nice jump on the ball going back, and then he made the diving catch down the inning, too.
Continues to get comfortable there. The reads, the jumps, the routes. He's just getting a lot more comfortable. We knew, this is a player that is a pretty good defender, right? But it's just good to see him get comfortable there and moving with counts, the communication with the right field, the left field when he's moving, just taking charge. Is good to see that too.
Tony?
Are you staying in line with your rotation now the next 3 days?
That's the plan. That's the plan. So.
When you're going through one of these stretches, how different, if at all, does it feel for you at the plate?
It's not much of a difference. I keep thinking to do damage every time, and the difference is the results. Sometimes I get the results, sometimes I don't, and just feel good. I've been seeing the ball well, I've been swinging the bat well. Just do damage whenever I can.
What impresses you most about Benge as a hitter?
I think the way he's been swinging the bat, he's always aggressive. He has a really good swing and he knows it, He's squaring balls most of the time, and that's really cool to see.
For you, damage can be doubles, gappers. When it's leaving the yard at this frequency, is there anything to that?
I think it's the same thing. Like I say, I'm just trying to do damage. I can't control if it's going over the wall or not, but definitely I'm trying to put the ball in the gap, get on base anyway, so I can help my team.
After falling behind big the last couple of games, how important was it to get the early lead?
I think it's always great, to punch first. Whoever punches first is always punching twice. So I think it's really important for the team to get the lead, give it a little bit of break to our starters, and go from there.
What do you think of the defense from AJ in center field? I mean, he had the one going back, and then he had the one, the diving catch.
That's
coming
great.
forward.
I think that's great. He keep us in the game right there with that diving catch. I think that make a huge difference in the game, physically and emotionally for the other team. I think you take that one away from them, it's really tough to come back from it.
Carson, it seems like you've made a really nice adjustment to those balls up in the zone. What have you been able to do to get to those pitches with regularity recently?
Just trying to stay short, put it in play, not trying to do too much with them, and things have been working out.
That 8-pitch at bat that you were able to work for that game-winning RBI, what were you able to do to get back into that count and ultimately get the pitch that you could do something with?
Just fight for every pitch, not give them anything. Try to be a tough out. That's all you can do.
Has the comfort level changed for you now compared to maybe where it was in April?
I'd say definitely, getting reps, playing every day is definitely nice, and building that confidence up is really good.
Is there a sense of urgency to get a win, given that you lost 5 in a row coming in?
It's always nice to get a win, no matter if you're on a losing streak or a winning streak. You always want to win.
What kind of appreciation do you have for the type of run that Soto's on at the plate right now?
It's special coming up, seeing him go to work every day, basically check a box that he's going to hit a homer or do something cool that day is pretty special to see.
Carson, is there a story behind shaving the mustache at all?
I haven't really been getting a ton of hits, so I just shaved it off and it worked.
So it's baseball related.
Yeah.
Did this game come down to you taking advantage of the opportunities for RBIs, and they didn't with 17 left on base?
You always want to get guys in any way possible, so being able to do that tonight was pretty nice.
Carson, you say you hadn't been getting a lot of hits lately. Carlos mentioned that one of the most impressive things about you is you'd never know every day whether you had a big game the day before or a rough one. How, especially as such a young player, are you able to stay so even-keeled every day?
I feel like having these guys around me, all these superstars around me and all the guys that have been in the big leagues for a while, seeing how they go about their business, no one's really pouting. So I don't think that's the right attitude to take about it.
Carson, how have you liked or adjusted to the leadoff spot? It's not every young player with as little experience as you winds up, up there this early in the season.
It's definitely nice to have that amount of trust from Mindy and all those guys, but trying my best to just get us going, get on base any way possible is pretty cool.